This is Berman's Book Basement. I'm Chaz Berman, and here today we have with us Ryan Wiersma, the author of a new book called The Pipeline Diaries. Welcome, Ryan.
Well, thank you there, Chaz.
So, Ryan, just in case people didn't know already, what is the synopsis of your book? Can you just give us a little general outline of what it is and what happens in it?
Oh yeah, I definitely can. It's a pretty cool book, actually. Probably the greatest book ever written, But it's about the pipeline.
That's a bold statement.
It's probably the best book ever written.
Yeah, never mind anything else.
Yeah, Beethoven is next to Beethoven, but
Did Beethoven write a book?
No, great. but basically what it is, it's about the pipeline, and we got a bunch of crazy characters in there,
Mm-hmm.
and it's kind of a story. It's a true story, except for the illegal stuff. That's not true. And what we're gonna do is we kind of just have all the boys, and they're nuts, and they party a lot, and they do drugs. There's hookers, blow, and all that good shit. So it's a book about what happens out in the pipeline, and it's just great.
Okay, so what inspired you to write this book?
Well, the funny thing is I started reading like Charles Bukowski.
Bukowski.
Yeah, exactly.
Close, yeah.
Just testing you. So Bukowski, he's great. And I just started writing little poems, about some of the guys out there, because man, we'd have such crazy stories. And I started reading them out to the boys, and then I eventually started to write chapters, and then I wrote a book about that. Basically, that's what happened.
All right, and I've read some of it, and some of it takes place at Costa Rica? Is that where it is?
No, it's Ecuador.
Ecuador,
yeah.
How'd you come to be there?
I went to Brazil to watch the World Cup, and then I wanted to go surfing, and then I went to Ecuador because they have a sweet little surf town called Montanita. And they got great waves there, and they got the mamacitas and the beach, and went there. Basically just surfed and got, drunk sometimes. And then I bought a piece of land there. So I bought a piece of land, and now I'm going to build my dream house and, sit on the beach and drink pina coladas and just chill out surfing waves. Doesn't that sound lovely, Chaz?
Sounds pretty great.
It does, doesn't it?
Some of the book highlights your troubles in Ecuador.
Right.
With the building. Could you tell us more about that?
You bet. Well, you see, Ecuador is it's like the wild, wild west. It's like free range. Except for certain things. You don't fuck with their pipelines. You don't dig by them, and you don't go on the roads. And that's what we did, because we had to go across a couple of the roads to get to my piece of land. So
What had to go across a couple of roads?
oh, we had to get material to build a road.
Oh, okay. So the road wasn't even built. It was like literally just a piece of land.
And we had a road. It was a shitty dirt road. We wanted to make a concrete road.
Oh, I see.
And we want stability. We want a firm base, a solid foundation, And so we go on there, and I guess we pissed off one of the neighbors, and they called the military, because the Ecuadorian oil is government run. So we basically had a bunch of these cocksuckers come, and they had like M16s and machine guns, and the commandante was there. And basically, he's like, yeah, you can't be doing this shit. And we're like,
You can't be building a road to a house.
Not so close to their pipeline.
Oh, I see.
Because we could disturb the land, I guess. And basically, that's not really it. We had a Colombian neighbor who wanted us to kind of work together. So I'm pretty sure he called the military, and then that happened. But no one knows for sure. Basically, the military came. They had guns, and they said stop building. So we started doing like little night ops. We go during the night and bring materials in, and eventually we'll get the road
You would
done.
sneak materials in at night to get the road built?
At times, yeah. Yeah. So it's Ecuador. They love that shit.
Yeah.
They love that shit.
I can tell from your personality you're a pretty out there kind of guy. And I've read the book. I think a lot of people think it's controversial. What do you have to say about that?
Like I said, it's probably one of the best books ever written, next to Tolstoy and Beethoven. I don't. But yeah, I guess there could be controversial things about it.
Well, your tagline. What was your tagline for
Well,
it?
you can't be a pussy in a pipeliner.
Yeah. So what could you tell us what that
Oh, it's
means?
simple. Like so. Let's say you got something going on, and you got to get a job done, right? And then you start making a whole bunch of excuses, like a little bitch. It's too muddy out, or it's raining, or I don't have the right wrench, or I'm just too tired. Well, you can go fuck off. You're being a little bitch, being a little pussy, and that just doesn't work out there because we got a job to get done. It's plain and simple. We don't care how we do. We'll go across mountains. We'll fill a whole valley to get the job done. We don't care, but there's no excuses, and that's what that line comes from. You can't be a pussy and a pipeliner. It's just all it is okay. I don't want to hear your excuses. Just get it done, and that's where that line comes from. We won't tolerate that.
I see. And with the people that you work with, what percentage of them do you think that you kind of speak for or have similar attitudes with?
Oh, I'd say about 75%. Oh yeah, 100%. Definitely.
Nice.
Yeah. Like the 25% are kind of like the ones that are just coming in there for the cash,
Right.
Like they're just what would be the word I'm looking for? Those people that it's just a smash grab operation. They're gonna leave. They're not lifers, Like this isn't like what they're gonna do. They're there for the money. They're gonna whine and grab the money and leave.
So if it's not the money, what is the main reason for people wanting to become pipeliners?
It's definitely the money. Yeah, it's always money, and it's kind of like an interesting lifestyle, right? You don't really have like a lot of responsibility. Like you go there, you work, then you go to camp or the hotel, and that's what you do for a couple weeks, right? There's no really anything else. It's quite simple.
Right.
It's kind of nice, and I'm sure some of the guys kind of enjoy that. Some of them.
Like the scheduling.
Well, yeah, well, just basically, you come like if normal people, they have a life, and you got your wife, you got bills, you got to do sports, you got to do that, you got to go see those guys and friends, and you got more things going on. And there, all you got to do is like work and sleep and eat.
Well, you had a character in your book that definitely had trouble with, balancing his work with the rest of his life. Well, could you tell us about that character?
It's just not him. It's like everybody who had ever. So I'll answer your question. A good friend of mine, and we call him Booby Mac. We just call him Booby. He basically, he's a pipeliner. He had a glorious mustache, and basically what happened was he had a wonderful gold digger. Now you know what a gold digger is?
I'm aware of the term.
Yeah. So basically, it's a girl that you think you're in love with, and then you're not, and you get divorced, and she takes a bunch of money from you. Yeah. So he married one of those, and 8 months later, he gets a divorce. A fucking idiot. So he did that, and so he was, but in his defense, he was gone he was so addicted to the greed that he was gone for like 11 months in a year. He's working so much and stuff like that. So, it's kind of weird, being away from a woman. So eventually she found another guy, and they got in cahoots together, and then they got divorced. And
He was married at the time when she was getting with the other guy.
You got cuckolded. That's the word.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I think the internet will show you what that is. Yeah.
And you find that's a big problem in the pipelines?
Well, the thing is it's I wouldn't call it a problem, but it's just something that happens, right? Because if you think about it, like you're a guy.
I hope so, yeah.
Yeah, you're a man, right? And if your woman's always gone, you're eventually gonna find another girl, So that's what these girls do, right? But it's kind of funny because he's only married for like 8 months. So that was kind of the funny part. But yeah, so the I lost my train of thought.
It's all right. I have another question.
Right, let's go there.
Is drug use fairly rampant among this community? I think I know the answer now.
What kind of drugs you're talking about?
Well, we can start out easy. Alcohol, marijuana, Things that
yeah.
are already legal.
Yeah, they, they definitely drink those things.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
What about the other kinds?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, they do them all. They love, like, cocaine is probably one of the favorite ones. I heard it's a hell of a drug, though.
Mm-hmm.
And then you got, like, a special group, the crackheads. They work really hard when they're on crack.
So they're helping to build the pipeline while they're on crack.
That's when they work the best. When they're not on it, they work like shit.
Do you find that to be a serious problem that you have people on crack working to develop province's energy source? Do you think by saying that you'll upset a lot of people that work in that sector?
Well, Chaz, I think some people will find it funny because like the crackheads, they don't really have like the important jobs. They kind of like do the muck work. So if you got like shit in a muddy pit, I kind of like send them over there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but I hear what you're saying there.
Yeah.
It probably would piss off some people. It's a good point.
Mm-hmm.
You probably shouldn't say that.
Well, I guess it's too late now.
Yeah.
So that drug use, does that happen like all the time or mostly just during like off time? And like, do you find that to be like just a way to spend their large amounts of money that they just get in, or what kind of hooks them into that?
I think they're unhappy. That's my guess.
Mm-hmm.
But they it all depends. I think what happens is like they're good for a couple days, and then the boys get restless, as you do,
Mm-hmm.
and they get on the beers, and then they might get some other stuff, and they'll party for that night.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just like when you were younger you'd party, right? And then you'd go.
Well, not like that.
Well, no, but you're different there, Chaz.
Yeah.
But some people, they like to party, and then that's what they do. It's just kind of a certain lifestyle out there.
And do you find that lifestyle is like beneficial? Do you find that kind of atmosphere a good place to work in?
To an extent, yeah. Because it's great being in a world that's challenging.
Mm-hmm.
You learn best when you're in a harder place. Like you don't do well. Everything's easy. That's not good, right?
Mm-hmm.
When you're there, you're dealing with challenging people, and you got a bunch of problems, and most of the problems you encounter with any job is people. It's not that. It's just like you got two different opinions, and you're trying to figure it out. So we got people trying to figure it out. And it's a challenge. So I think anything that's a challenge is good.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I think that's what it is.
So your book, it has this tagline, Alberta Forever.
Yeah.
What do you mean by that, and why'd you write that?
Well, it's simple, Alberta is where I'm from Edmonton, Alberta, right?
Okay.
And we're a province of oil. Obviously, that's what the book's about. It's about pipelines. And, this is my job. This is my way of living. And a lot of people here, actually, it's actually the strength of Alberta and Canada's economy is based on oil. So basically it's like a real pride thing. It's Alberta forever, because it comes from the heart. That's what it is, Chaz.
Mm.
Yeah.
And what do you think is the best thing about the pipeline?
The best thing about the pipeline?
Yeah.
Oh, it's simple. It's a wild world, One of the nice things I enjoy is you get such crazy characters. That's one thing I really enjoy. Mm-hmm. You get, wild stories, and you get a lot of laughs. But the main thing, though, is the best thing with the pipeline is, in Alberta, I don't have a degree or anything, and a guy like me can bust his ass, and save his money, and he can have something, in a couple of years. He could have a house, he could have his truck paid off, and he could really do something with himself. He doesn't get, distracted by the liquor and the drugs, And that's the greatest thing about the pipeline. If you really want to do something with yourself, you got a whole bunch of go-getters, and everyone has their demons, but you can really do something. And that's the greatest thing about it. You can do something with yourself.
You mentioned the liquor and drugs. Do you find that people get enticed by that because of the boredom, or
No,
what do you think?
no, I think it's because the people aren't happy. I always put it as like there's a hole, and you try to fill it. You got to fill it with with clothes or trucks or hookers or drugs or liquor. Because you feel good at the time, and after you don't feel that good after, because I don't know, there's something missing. Maybe something happened when they were a kid. Maybe I don't know. There's so many stories, right? Usually it's because their parents, they're brought up pretty fucked up, like their dad left or their mom had addiction issues, and it was just a bad environment. That's usually what I see. And then they come to the pipeline, they make the money, they buy everything they want, but they're not happier. But it feels good to make the money because now they can have what they want, right? So it's like temporary happiness.
That's kind of like everyone, right? Like everyone's kind of.
I guess in there you get to see an extremity of it. It's like, everyone, there's like the right and left, and you get to see more of a wild version of that.
Oh, I see.
To excess. That's enjoyable sometimes.
And what was your upbringing like?
Oh, it was good. I got two. It was pretty damn good. I had two great parents. Yeah, no complaints.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So do you think that's part of the reason why you were able to kind of dodge through these obstacles?
Yeah, maybe. I guess I'm just I think I'm happier than the other ones. I don't need that other shit to crank me up.
So you don't have like the big truck or like all the stereotypes that a pipeliner would typically buy. You don't have like the big house and all the toys
no,
like
I don't. A different breed though. They're Chaz, different breed. I'm more of a saver. Eventually I want to get out of it. I love the pipeline, but I don't want to be 50 years old with not a penny to my name. I want to get out of it and have, like I said, if you want to, you have the ability. That's the most amazing thing about this, is you can have, in a short period of time, you can accomplish a great deal. And this is just a tool. It depends on how you want to do it. If you want to stick it up your nose, that's a tool as well. It's just not the tool that I'm using.
And do you find that a lot of people do like to stick it up their nose, as you so eloquently put it?
Yeah, fucking right. They're having a good time. You gotta understand, different breed, me. So I'm just one example. But we got, 100,000 other guys out there. They all got their thing going on. And so, you're dealing with, fucking lunatics. You're dealing with shitty cold conditions. You're dealing with long stints, long days. We're not in a basement here. We're just, it's really shitty conditions. And, if people want to get revved up and they need to let loose, I say more power to them, man. I'm not here to judge or anything. I'm not saying, drinking lots and doing that shit is bad. It's not my cup of tea, but I get it for other guys, man. Everyone has their poisons, and more power to them. That's the best part about this. And you just get to watch.
So do you think your book is kind of like a sober look at the actual events that happen on the pipeline? Is that is that what somebody could say?
Soberish, yeah.
Soberish, yeah.
I still got to get revved up too. I'm no saint. I get angry and stuff, but yeah, it's just it's a perspective. It's the glory of the pipeline. People will look at it in a negative way. I don't look at it in a negative way. People will think maybe this is a sad story. I think it's hilarious. And all the boys are gonna think it's hilarious. A buddy getting revved up till 7:00 in the morning, missing work. You think, man, what an idiot. But we're thinking like, well, he got laid. So he gets by this time. Next time he doesn't. And that's the cool culture. Like everyone has their culture. Nurses have their cultures. Lawyers have their culture, and we got our culture. And that's the funky thing about it, right? And people look at it in the negative, and I just look at it just it's not positive or negative. It's just that's what it is. There's some people that ain't happy. There's some people that are happy. None of them are bad. Some people had like booze. Some people like drugs. Neither are bad. Just what they do. It's just that's how life goes. That's the great thing about it. I guess depends on how much you want to put a value on it. If you put no value, it's just living.
Yeah. And if the average person read this book, do you think that they would come out with a negative opinion or a positive opinion about what happens in Alberta's pipeline?
Well, Chaz, that's a funny call because, people are so offended by things. Now, I could say, probably just like saying a couple words here, people are going to get offended. I personally don't, but that's me, right? That's my opinion. I think some people might. There's some stories about, drinking and sex, idiots, but you just got to look at it with an open mind. And I think so many people have such a angry opinion they can't even joke about things. I think it's like a comedy, a tragic comedy. It's great.
A tragic comedy, is that your main character that you're describing? The character of you? All the characters are a tragic comedy?
Yeah, we're all a tragic comedy.
And you had, you already mentioned, was it Mickey Magoo?
Mickey McCoy.
Mickey McCoy.
Oh, he's a beauty. You would love to have a beer with him.
Yeah, what's his thing about?
Oh, man, he loves drinking. You know what the saying is? He's having a casual 18. Well, that's his saying. Just having a casual 18 pack. And he likes whores. He likes whores. Mm-hmm. And he has the best whore stories, Like we'll be having dinner and he'll disappear for like 15 minutes. He'll come back with guilt riddled over him, like a really guilty face. And yeah, he just got a blowjob from a hooker in 15 minutes. And what the fuck? Well, how did that happen? And then we laugh. It's funny. Mm-hmm. Crazy bastard. After then he goes hit his casual 18 pack. He's a beautiful man though. Beautiful man. And when you hang out with them, you just have the time of your life. Yeah. It's great.
Where is that? Like, is that in Fort Mac that you're doing that? Like,
no, that was in, I don't know if I can say that. It was in a place in Saskatchewan.
Oh, okay.
Flat land. Mm-hmm. There. Wheat. I like their wheat. Yeah. Yeah. So, yeah, that was great. Good story.
Yeah. Do you have any stories that from him, since he's not here to tell them?
Well, that was one.
Oh,
he's got a couple. There's a couple. Yeah, you have to read the book though. You read it.
I read it.
Yeah,
I
you got.
Wondering if you had
okay. Read the book, man. You'll enjoy it.
So you also talked about 50-year-olds without a penny to their name, even after they've worked at the pipeline. What's happening there? Does that happen very often?
Oh yeah, they're the lifers. Again, it's not good or bad. Some people are better at saving than others, right? Mm-hmm. Some people think, it's a funny thing about when you work there. You get these checks, right? And you think they're going to constantly come. But the pipeline is a boom or bust industry. So when the times are great, they're good. And when they're not, they're not. And, when sometimes, you have all this money and you have a lifestyle you're living, right? Let's say you're getting the apartment or the house for $2,000 and you have the truck and the toys and this, they all rack up, man. So even though you're not working, you're still paying for those things. And it totally dwindles, right? And it's just the need, it's the greed, the greed, the excess. You got this money, you're going to spend it. And then they got this world that's like, you can have it now, like faster than now. Like, and then they take it. And then eventually they take too much. And then now they're like, they got no money. They got to keep working. It's like it's a beautiful cycle of pipeline. The cycle of life, it's a cycle of pipeline.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, nice way to put it.
Yeah, they got to keep grabbing for more, and then they lose. They got to go back. Beautiful circle.
And are you currently working? Are you still employed by the pipeline?
Well, not right now. I got the COVID right now.
You have the COVID.
I don't have the COVID, no. No, the COVID is going on, though.
Yeah.
So, you got to leave out
there's a lot of layoffs right now.
Yeah. Okay. This is the bus time right now. Yeah. So all those fuckers without a penny, they're really fucked.
But you're doing okay.
Told you. Different breed.
Yeah.
Different breed.
Are a lot of your personal friends hurting right now because of the lack of work?
Oh, they're not happy.
They're not happy?
No, they're not happy at all.
So
they got to pay for a fucking nice, beautiful Jacked up diesel truck, baby. Amen. Represent.
So, how true are those stereotypes that you hear about pipeliners? That they're just drug abusers that don't know how to spend their money right?
Well, it depends on the eye of the beholder.
Yeah.
I think they're spending their money just fine. And you know what? The thing is, you can't say that. Some of those guys are the best guys I know. I mean, they're loyal, they're hardworking. Like some of them, like you work with them all the time. They're like their brothers.
Mm-hmm.
You can't say anything negative about them. I'm sure you got people at work that you don't like, and you got your friends at work that you do love.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, like there's nothing. You kind of said it in a negative context. It's not like that. Like these guys are like, when you need something to get done, man, or you need a hand, like these guys are gonna be there. Like we're talking minus stupid. I don't know if you ever worked like 12 hours of minus 50. Like your boy is there helping you through the shitty times. Like, and that's what's so cool about this. You got this everyday life going on. You see a guy, who's broken down on the road. You just go right past, don't you? But out there, man, someone's broken down. We are there. Boom. Like that.
Yeah.
We take care of our own.
Because of the extreme conditions.
No, because that's what we do out there.
Oh.
We take care of our own. We got our own hiccups, but we take care of each other.
So do you think that's like the biggest misconception about pipeliners is that they're selfish when in reality they're actually very loyal?
To an extent,
I guess
we
that's
got
a big question,
it's well no, we're beautiful in one way and we're our own character in another way, right? If you're being a little bitch, we're gonna call you that, and you might think that's unpolite, but if you're like me, man, like I don't want to cut the grass today, so you're being a little bitch, just cut the grass, right? Mm-hmm. But if it comes down to the nitty gritty, and you're like, yeah, man, like I got this shit, we got a job to get done, we got a time limit, and like this is what's gonna happen. Like we're gonna work 20 hours or whatever it takes to win. We're gonna take whatever it takes to get the job done, and that's what's cool, man. There's no like, hey, it's okay, guys, like you worked hard. No, it's like, hey, boys, okay, we're bringing pizza, let's get it done, and that's what's cool about this. We don't tolerate, weakness. We say, hey, we're going to get this done, and that's what's cool about it.
So Ryan, what do you think the greatest misconception about pipeliners is?
Well, I mean, I guess what it is like when you think of the pipeliner or like any guy from oil and gas, you think, jacked up truck, asshole, rolling coal. We do those things.
What is rolling coal? I've never heard that before.
You, press a couple of buttons on your diesel, and then it doesn't burn the diesel all the way, and it's black smoke.
No.
You didn't heard of that?
Never heard of that.
It's great.
Okay.
You gotta try it.
I don't have a diesel truck, but sorry, continue.
You gotta buy one.
Okay.
It's the Alberta dream. But yeah, so we got those things, right? In partying and whatnot, and we do all those things, and we're not wrong. But like, there's some of those loyal guys in their own way, and they're the hardest working guys that just, no matter what, like I don't care what you say, if you said, hey, yo guys, we need you to get rid of that mountain, we'll fucking get rid of that mountain. Or if we got this valley, you see, I need to plug this valley, we will fill that valley. That's the kind of guys we'll do. And there's no excuse, we'll just get it done. And that's the greatest thing about us, right? And there's like a brotherhood, like in our own way. I'm not saying like we're like hugging and, talking about our feelings. But we're saying like when it comes down to the nitty gritty, we're there and we're gonna take care of our own, man. And that's what's really cool about them. And I think people don't get to see that because out in the bush or what, in the wilderness, you got nothing but problems. Shit breaks down. Terrible, terrible cold. Mud. Just crap. Some retarded human beings are out there. But you got your boys out there. Your good core group, and they make life just the bee's knees, man. The titties. It's great. So
you just used a pretty controversial word just there in your answer.
Titties?
No.
Yeah, I like those, man.
Not that one.
Guilty as charged. I like them. What can I say?
Yeah, not that one.
Oh.
But sure, maybe that one as well. Will people that are easily offended by those kinds of words, do you think they should read your book?
Hell yes. I think even children, little children, should read my book.
You think
I think
so?
every single person on this planet should read my book. It's a great book. It's a book.
That.
It's a book about life, and every person should read about it.
Okay, this is, we have two more questions.
Right.
Do you ever work with many women on the pipeline? Are there women there? You talk about the brotherhood a lot, but...
Right. I'm gonna say it's 95% men. There is women out there, and they're actually like they're pretty tough, man. Like I would say, like there's some of them, you know, a lot of the like most safety jobs are done by women, and there's some that just work as a pipeliner or a welding helper. But it's definitely masculine dominated, 100%, like undeniable.
And does that feed into the culture?
Well, I mean, like, what do you mean?
So, like, because, like, you've already described what the culture is like. Is it like that because it is masculine dominated?
Yeah, you know, like men and women aren't the same. We're humans, but men have a shit ton of more testosterone. We like to, you know, wrestle with each other. We like to, you know, fight.
Do you wrestle on the pipeline?
Oh yeah, we fight all the time.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you don't?
Yeah.
You don't, or you do?
I don't fight all the time.
No, yeah, we do. You know,
Yeah.
it's fun.
It's fun.
People piss you off.
Do the police ever get involved with these fights?
Yeah, if there's a little bitch.
Do you find that there's many people from like the LGBT community that are
What
in
the fuck is an LGBT?
Okay, never mind. Do you find that there's many gay people on the pipeline?
I haven't met one.
Yeah,
Maybe there is. Maybe they just. No, I haven't met one. Actually, to be my whole career, I have never met a gay person on the pipeline.
Do you think they'd be accepted if they wanted to join?
They should come and try and see.
What do the people on the pipeline think of the environmental movement that's happening, where a lot of people are protesting pipelines and are very much anti-oil?
I think it's fucking retarded, to be honest. Like, if you think about it, like, do you have a vehicle? Mm-hmm. So you use oil and gas.
Yeah, I'm not trying to fight with you.
No, I'm trying to answer your question. And these people who are protesting, they all have vehicles. They all live in a warm house in the winter. I mean, how can you protest something that gives you the quality of life that you got? You know.
I think from the point of view of the protesters, they are trying to cut back and move to alternative energies.
And what are those? Have you done research into this?
I'm just saying what the people have.
I know, but you
suggested,
know,
like,
I wouldn't say people just like to bitch and complain, you know. But the reality is our first world luxury.
Like the scientists like to bitch and complain.
Well, no, they have a good point. Like there has to be something else. But here we have someone that's making an argument about it, right? Saying we got to stop oil and gas, but those same people are using the product. They haven't changed their life. Like there's some, you know, amazing people that have done amazing things, you know, but most people like to talk about it and share it on the Facebook, but they still drive a vehicle. They still live in a heated house. Like if you want to stop oil and gas, you might as well just go in the bush, cut down a bunch of trees, and start burning wood. You know, it's part of our life. Since the discovery of it, our population has times by 8. You know, so I want you to think of 7 of your 8 of your people you know. Since that discovery, 7 of those 8 people would be dead right now. You know, without that discovery, and all of our technology and industry is from this product. And I'm not saying don't try to find a better way or a more resourceful way, but I'm just saying, hey man, I appreciate what oil and gas has done, and I think we need to find a better resource. I can live with that. But condemning something that you're using, I just can't believe in that, because my Mexico trips, my first world enjoyment is because of that product. My phone, my clothes, you know. Am I saying no to trying to find alternative ways? I'm saying we're using this technology to get there. But I ain't ever going to condemn something that I'm using every day of my life. That's all I'm saying.
Well, thank you for those fascinating opinions. I think you've brought a lot of understanding to people that don't really get a lot of coverage anywhere else. So again, this is Ryan Wiersma for your book. What's it called?
Pipeline Diaries.
Pipeline Diaries. And thanks so much for being here.
Thanks for having me, Chaz. Appreciate that, man.
Thanks.